So now we discuss functional response. So in ecology, functional response refers the intake capacity of a consumer, which is a function of food density. There are mainly three types of functional response: Holding type 1, type 2, type 3. So here food means, in predator-prey system, food means prey and consumer means predator. So when we say food, it means that it is prey population, and consumer means it is predator population. So here we assume a general system, predator prey system. X denotes the density of prey species and Y denotes the density of predator population. So Rx minus Fx into Y. So Fx is the density of prey population consumed by unit predator. So when there is an Y number of predators, then total intake, that is consumption, become Fx into Y. So R is the birth rate of prey population. So Rx is the total growth rate of prey population, and by consumption the decline will be Fx into Y, and this comes to the density of predator population. So it becomes C into Fx into Y. So here C is the conversion efficiency or conversion factor of prey biomass into predator biomass, and minus D into Y means that D is the natural death rate of predator population. So Holding type 1 functional response, that is what will be the effects. So when a functional response has a linear increasing in their intake rates, which is density of a food, that is prey, such kind of functional responses is known as Holding type 1 functional response. Here it is assumed that the time is negligibly small for processing the food of any species or searching the food. This is the simplest functional response among the functional responses. So basically, the general form of Holding type 2 functional response is Fx equal to Ax. So when x is less or equal to a constant density n, or something like that, n is the prey density, constant prey density, and it becomes a into n when x greater than n. So the graph will be like this, when this is the x and this is num fx. So up to a certain value, when this is x equal to n, up to n it will be increasing function, the fx will be increasing function, and after that it becomes constant, that is n. Here fx equal to n, a into n. So this is the graphical representation of function response. And Holding type 2 function response, when a function response is distinguished by decelerating the intake rate, then it known as type 2 function response. Here it is assumed that the consumer has a limited capacity for processed food, and type 2 function response is defined by the equation this. So here R is the, we can assume this as lambda. Lambda is the encounter rate or attack rate of predator population, that is at which the consumer encounter their food, that is at which the predator populations encounter prey species. H in the handling time spent to process the food. And in this response, the mortality of prey population declines with increase in the prey density. Predators in this type have maximum mortality rate when there is a low density of prey population. So it can be simply write Holding type 2 functional response can be written as, that is function of x plus ax divided by b plus, or you can write in this form. Type 3 functional response usually seen in predator populations who increase their search activities when prey density. For example, some predators respond by the effect of pheromones, that is a chemical emitted by some prey, and cause the increase the activities of predator. In this response, mortality rate first increases with the increase of prey density, then start to decline. Graphical representation of 3 functional response. So first of all, Holding type 1 functional response. This is Holding type 1 functional response Fx. So as prey density increases, so up to a value, the value of this function increases, and after that this becomes constant. And for type 2 functional response, it increases but it has a maximum value. So here this is the maximum value. So this function ax by b, x has a maximum value, that is a, and b is the saturation constant. So it means the density of prey population at which the encounter rate become its half of its maximum value. And in for the type 3, so it first increasing and then decreasing, and after a threshold value of population density, that is prey density, it becomes constant, so it has a maximum value also. And there is also a holding type 2 function response, that is type 4, and type 4 is of the form ax divided by x square plus bx plus c. So each function responses has unique explanation, so we will discuss. Thank you very much.